Bobcats. I guess first of all, just how has fall camp been so far for that specialist group?
Those guys have been good. Obviously kind of went from one of the oldest groups in the nation to one of the younger, so that's been an exciting challenge in a lot of ways of what we kind of have going with what the 2025 group's going to look like. And it's been a lot of fun so far, and challenging those guys pretty consistently to make sure that they're doing their best and getting focused up. So a little bit of a new role for some of those guys, but it's going to be a really exciting rest of fall camp and into the season.
What has that transition been like from Brendan to Colby?
Very, when you look at them, both really good athletes, but it very different in the same thing. Brendan was so unique in what his skill set was, and I think the same to say about Colby, but it's different. It's not the same skill set, but they're both pretty elite competitors, and the athleticism really shows in its own way. And so it's different, but kind of the same, where they're going to be able to have that same role. It might not look exactly the same, but it's still very competitive, and going to be something that I'm excited to see where that develop is. The biggest thing is Brendan was old, and Colby's coming out of a situation where he was a do everything for a bunch of sports, and his athleticism kind of shows that, and it's just we had to condense that focus into a little bit different role, but he's doing well, and it's been exciting to watch that so far.
Have you seen Miles grow as a leader now as the veteran in that room?
Yeah, I think so. So Miles in a situation where he went from the youngest guy to the oldest guy in about one day as soon as that 2024 season ended, and I think that's something where he's had a little bit of a leadership aspect to him in what it is. He was asked to do a lot last year in his first year playing, but he's a grinder, and he knows he's kind of earned his way into this role, and he's done a really good job with what these guys have done. I think even better probably than what he had, because so recently he was in that brand new shoes position, and now he's got a little bit more of a veteran status to him. So I think he's done a really good job in that.
Yeah, how'd you see his confidence grow through last season now into this year?
I think it all happened fast, which is kind of how it had to happen. I think it was kind of maybe a little unexpected. If you had asked me a year ago if he had been a 100-point guy for the Bobcats, I don't know if I would have saw it going that way, but then he was, and I think he kind of was able to be like, I got to go prove myself, and then once the team really embraced him in that way, he really flourished, and I don't think he's slowed down in what that is as far as he's maturing as an athlete and a leader. He wants this role, and he's being real competitive to make sure he's going to be one of the best kids in the country when he's asked to perform.
Consistency is obviously such a big thing at the position, whether it's place kicking, punting, anything you're doing out there. So how do you kind of continue to drill that home to maybe some of the younger guys?
We talk about the goal being a blindfolded PAT. So what's unique now is we have the ability to have those guys all working together very consistently as far as they're young and they get the time, but we're striving to be able to execute all of our goals without even being able to look at it. So is that ever going to be super practical? I don't know, but that's the goal as far as we want to do everything the same every single time, and the more we do that, the more complex we can be. So that allows us to really kind of grow our net or focus it whenever we need to, but we can rely on each other at any time. It's 2 or 3 of us out there, and we got to be able to operate and trust that what's happening around those specialists is going to continue to execute. So
you talked about Miles being great. What do you think his ceiling is skill level wise?
To be the best at this level, and I think he kind of showed he was going to be able to compete in what that is. We got to make sure that we're always asking him to compete in situations that he's going to be successful in, but he's even a different kicker this year just after having a really good winter and a really good summer. Physically he's just maturing because he's a young guy too, and now expected to be in an older role, and you just watch him walk around, he's got a different build to him. He's really carrying the expectation that I need to be the guy, and I'm excited to see that kind of continue through what's been the rest of a good fall camp, and then as we get going into the season.
On the return side, what's it like having an All-American like Taco, part of the unit?
special. And I think that turns into how do we make sure Taco can do what Taco does. And sometimes you're shocked at what the limits on that are, because I don't know even if that ceiling's been identified yet. So making sure we get him in a situation that he can go be a special player. We were able to do that last year, and we got to make sure that we can keep giving him the best opportunity to go do that. And I think when you get a unit like either return unit, you got 11 guys with a bunch of belief out there, you can do some special stuff, and he's going to be a part of that, driving belief.
New long snapper as well for this year. I guess how's Brody Lex so far?
He's awesome. I know you guys probably had a relationship with Tommy to understand that they're going to be a little bit different as far as the personality goes, but Brody, another person who maybe not exactly a specialist when you look at what his high school stuff was, but has been really good in engaging in what that is. Keeping his focus, like he's never not had 24 periods of a 24 period practice, and right now it's like, hey, we need to be able to concise that. So for him, I think it's finding the level of confidence that he's as good as I tell him he is every day, and his ability to kind of accept every challenge that we're starting to create there has been really, really exceptional. And then watching that kid play football as just the pure athlete that he is awesome. Like, he's fast, he's big, like he's going to be really special here. Just a little bit of a transition coming out of high school to what college is for him.
I guess how I've just kind of worked with everybody on the punt kickoff coverage teams. I guess how has that kind of looked out there?
I think it's been really good. That's the kind of the driving force of what I'm sure camp has been for everybody, is create competition to get the best 11 players on the field. And I think that's been the driving force so far, is I need to identify what we're capable of doing, and then figuring out what guys give us the best opportunity to execute that, and keep that as simple as possible for everybody, and so that we can execute on a high level. So a lot of opportunity to be able to create the competition there, and see how that kind of all unfolds. So this will be a big week to identify what those roles, as far as the cover guys of the coverage units, really turn into.
And then Taco obviously kind of has the punt return lockdown. Who are you guys looking at for kickoff?
I think that's been pretty open so far. I think we put a bunch of guys back there today to see how that's going to look. So I probably have a better answer tomorrow after we go watch a little bit of this. But I think it's the same thing, being able to get a kick returner that you can get all 11 guys to be able to believe in out there, because it's a unit that's really hard to execute, and the rules of football are kind of continuing to make that more difficult. But if you believe in the unit that you send out there, you can do some special stuff. So I think being able to kind of create that, get a fast and physical unit out there that allows our returner to have the best chance possible, and then find a guy who's going to give us a shot. Obviously, when those plays are going good, it's about as exciting as Bobcat Stadium could get. So we want to create as many of those opportunities as we can.
And then just Coach Mix now moving to wide receivers and having a bigger hand in special teams. What's it like working alongside him?
It's been really good. So me and Coach Mix have had a lot of development through our time here, but he's been here 1 year longer than me, but we've kind of gone from young guy to older guy in these roles that we've had. So there's been a lot of trust built after years of kind of that relationship and bond of just working through it. And I think he knows what I'm looking for, and that's helped a lot. Like, I don't have to communicate expectations. Like, we're really in sync in what the goals of those units are, and he's done a really good job of creating a competitive environment, but then developing those guys into something that should be really special. So
you were working with specialists last year, but obviously kind of special teams coordinator now. I guess how has your roles and responsibilities shifted, I guess, for this year?
I think in how it's created, it's not a ton different. Obviously, I got to come up here and do this type of stuff now, but as far as my communication with the team, I think it was always like that, where I had a hand in whatever we were doing and whoever that was. So now it's just like a little bit more of the front of the room, but a lot of the work's the same. Like, we got to go grind it out and figure out where our edge can be found, and then see if we can exploit that on a Saturday. So been a lot of fun being able to coach everybody. I think that's the most exciting part about being the special teams coordinator. Any special teams coach is, you're not limited to one group. You really get to be involved with the entire team. So it's been good so far, and trying to figure out how we can just grow day by day as far as them trusting me trusting them, and that's the goal of what fall camp is holistically, and I think we're progressing really well in that area.
And then just Pat as holder, or are you guys still kind of figuring that out?
Being able to work through it, Colby's got a really high skill set in that department too. So if we can continue to have him be there, that allows us to practice when Pat's obviously got some goals in the offense that he's trying to fulfill too. So if we can, that's kind of something we're still navigating.